Hi, I'm Diep.
I'm Jose.
And we're your token theater friends, bringing a POC perspective to the performing arts. Normally we tell you which shows you should pay money for. But today we're going to devote 7 minutes to one show. And why are we doing that, Jose?
Because it's long, it's magical, and it's freaking Harry Potter.
And it's expensive.
Oh, yeah.
It's so expensive.
Super expensive.
Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Do you say cursed or cursed?
I always call him cursed, but people call him cursed.
Every time I talk about Harry Potter, I turn British.
Well, then you should say it in a British way.
So, I am a big Harry Potter fan. I read the first books when I was also 11 years old, aka the age that you get into Hogwarts, and the series ended when I was 19 years old. So it took up 10 years of my life, and I loved every minute of it.
Wow.
Were you a Harry Potter fan, Jose?
No, I read the first book when I was a little bit too old, so I found it really stupid. But I did watch all the movies, though.
Did you like the movies?
Some of them, I think, they're all fun. There's one that it's like a great movie, regardless of whether it's a Harry Potter movie. But the others were just like, more Harry.
Yeah, fan service-y.
Yeah.
So, as a person who is not a Harry Potter fan, did you enjoy the Harry Potter play?
What was so interesting to me was that even if I'm not the biggest Harry Potter fan, I got all the references to all the characters. When someone shows up near the end of the first part of the plays, I almost had a heart attack. I gasped so loud. So I was surprised to realize that I knew way more about Harry Potter than I thought I would. And it just struck me as how powerful Harry Potter's influence in our culture was. That was shocking to me, really.
Yeah. Well, it's part of my theory about this Broadway season, because we talked about Mean Girls last episode, and I think, and we didn't review SpongeBob, but SpongeBob's also playing this season, and it also got nominated for a lot of Tonys. But I think between these three properties, Broadway is trying to market to people our age, because those things were so popular when we were growing up, and they're such pinnacle parts of our teenage years. And so now that we're old enough to pay for Broadway tickets, apparently. Broadway producers want to make shows for us. So thank you, Broadway producers. I appreciate that.
Now it would be great if, besides doing shows for millennials, they also made prices for millennials.
Yes!
I don't know a single person my age who can afford tickets to Harry Potter. What do you think about the show in terms of it being a play?
I think it was a really great production of a very mediocre play.
Wasn't it so, lame?
It's such a bad script. For Harry Potter, the play, everything around it was great except for the script. And I think the magic, because the effects were really amazing. People disappear and reappear, right in front of your eyes. Things levitate in the middle of the stage, and fire. There's a lot of fire involved, and so I think all of those effects make you think the play is better than it actually is.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But also, I think Disney, for instance, with Frozen, could learn a lot from Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, because even though the effects, they were worth millions, it's the most expensive play to ever be put on Broadway. But the effects feel in a way that we can make them. They have a very childlike quality to them that I found so beautiful. I was expecting the play to be all giant sets and things falling everywhere and constant, My Fair Lady turntable kind of Hogwarts sets.
Yes.
And everything's done in a very almost bare bones kind of way.
Yes, it's deceptively simple. I feel like the script cares more about reintroducing us to old characters from the books than introducing us to new characters. Because I don't know about you, but I did not care about the two main leads.
Yeah.
Who were the sons of, Harry Potter and Draco Malfoy. I didn't care about them as much as I cared about Harry Potter and what he was going through.
Force Awakens is basically the same as Harry Potter. They rehash the structure of, their first big thing, I guess. And they're selling it as something new, which is not the case. Because besides the two sons, there's also another Hermione type girl that they add to that trio.
Yeah.
And obviously there's like all kinds of deceptions and all kinds of plot twists and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But we are sold structures that we know very well, which is such lazy writing.
It's so lazy. You know, in Harry Potter, the wand battles are really lame. Because they're just like basically waving a stick and CGI comes out. And in this one, like they wave the stick and like people fly and do other cool things. And I felt for the first time like a sense of excitement watching wizards battling it out.
Right.
And I think that helps because like the magic is right in front of your eyes. Like this is one of those times where the material was better served by being on stage.
I agree. So I would recommend it. I know it's really expensive. But I had such a great time.
So you would actually pay $500 to see this?
Well, I mean, if I had $500, I would definitely consider it.
Right after I saw Harry Potter the play, I went to Harry Potter the theme park, and I think if I had $500, I would actually rather go to Harry Potter the theme park and buy myself a robe. And next, we're going to head down to New York Theater Workshop, where they are currently mounting a revival of Light Shining in Buckinghamshire by Carol Churchill, directed by Rachel Chapkin. And one of the actors in the play is Greg Mosgala, who is currently nominated for a Lucille Lortel Award for Best Actor for his performance in Cost of Living by Martina Mayock, which won the Pulitzer this year. Right after that, he is starring in Teenage Dick by Mike Liu at the Public Theater, where he plays, wait for it, Richard III, but as a teenager. So let's go visit Greg. So, hi, we're here with Greg Mosgala, and we're also in period wear, which works for this show.
Ruffs never go out of fashion.
No, especially now. I mean, just wait 10 years, it all goes back.
Yeah.
It all comes back.
Mm-hmm.
But can you tell us about this show, Light Shining?
Yeah, it's a play from 1976, 77 about revolution and revelation and resistance that sort of chronicles the English Civil War of the mid-17th century and the millennial fervor that is associated with that, which I had no idea until I read the play and did some research around it.
After this, you're doing Teenage Dick at the Public, another kind of period piece, a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I'm staying in sort of English Civil War territory.
I saw a workshop of Teenage Dick at the O'Neill a few years ago.
Oh, yeah?
It's one of the funniest things.
Yeah,
it's also kind of sad. So,
Yeah.
I love, however, that it's an adaptation of Shakespeare, and I'm sure that sometimes people would see, if it was actually like Richard, people would be like, ugh, I don't want to go see that. So why is it exciting for you to be, translating in a way Shakespeare for contemporary audiences?
Sure. The character of Richard III is obviously I have cerebral palsy, so I'm disabled. I'm born disabled. He's one of the greatest disabled archetypes in all of Western literature, and so my company, the Apathite, commissioned the play, and I'm always looking for opportunities to cast multiple disabled actors.
You just talked about your theater company, and I know there's been so much conversation about like actors without disability playing characters with disability, and so why do you think it's important to have like authentic disabled voices?
Of course, you want authentic representation. I mean, so many other communities are advocating for that, so why shouldn't we? And my thought was, though, that you need the play's the thing, really, just to riff on Shakespeare. But I think you need the vehicle that will support the casting of, because I feel there are sort of three pervasive narratives about disability, sort of overcoming obstacles, death and dignity, and being an inspiration. And those are so sort of force-fed that's all culturally we know how to metabolize. So we need to present people with different stories where we're just people and with integrated within society.
You know how to sing, so
yes, in the shower primarily. Yeah.
Well, I saw bass baritone on your resume. So if you took your singing out of the shower and you wanted to take a stab at maybe characters that are traditionally played by able-bodied people in musicals, which ones are on your bucket list?
Oh man, I mean, one of the first big musicals I ever saw was Phantom of the Opera, and so it's like that's And that's a disabled character right there. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's about a hideously disfigured guy who lives in a basement and just wants a girlfriend. You know, I mean, like, as a 12-year-old, I could totally relate. Look, I'm an actor. I want to work. You know, and again, I think there's something with this, with cost of living, like again, putting these plays out into the world. Like again, that's the vehicle. The play is really the vehicle for the cultural and social change. You know, because you need to see it. 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 So with cost of living, like this play, Teenage Dick coming up, like again, I'm just like really excited about how that's gonna help to change the landscape of American theater.
For our 11 o'clock number today, we're going to talk about awards season. We're in the middle of awards season, and both the Tony nominees and the Drama Desk nominees were announced within a week.
Yeah, and then the Lucille Lortel nominations were just announced, and the New York Drama Critics Circle awarded some stuff. So a lot of swag going around.
And we were really surprised by the fact that the Drama Desk, for the first time in forever,
For the first. We don't sing.
Yeah,
We don't sing.
they nominated exclusively off-Broadway plays for their Best Play Award. And in Best Musical, 3 of the nominees came from off-Broadway, with Mean Girls and SpongeBob SquarePants being the only 2 Best Musical nominees that overlap with the Tonys. What do we think about the fact that the play season was so lacking, for lack of better words?
Yeah. Well, I think it's because, one, plays don't sell that well on Broadway, so producers feel a need to play it safe. So the Best Play Revival category at the Tony Awards is usually pretty full. And I also think it shows you that the best work is usually done off-Broadway. Because Broadway is usually seen as being the best of what theater has to offer, when you put really lame shows on Broadway, then it makes audiences around the country think, oh, this is what theater is. It's just a bunch of plays written by dead white people.
And we talked about this in our last episode. It's really sad that it's big productions that get rewarded. I mean, it's kind of disappointing that Harry Potter and the Cursed Child Parts 1 and 2 are the frontrunner to win the freaking Tony Award for Best Play.
When the script was terrible.
Yeah, and when we have people like Martina Majok and like Anna Ziegler and so many other people who have incredible work happening off Broadway, and
they'll never get the shiny statues, and we want them to have their shiny statues.
give them their Tonys.
Give them their Tonys. That is our episode, and hopefully next time we will go back to our usual format, or maybe not. Let us know if you liked this format better. And as always, please subscribe to us on YouTube or like American Theater on Facebook. You can watch the videos on both platforms. And once again, theater is more fun when you take your friends. Bye.
Right. Yeah.
What?
Okay.
That could be a really crazy site-specific piece, right?
Can you help me with this?
Oh, sure, of course. Oh man, there you go.
Thank you.